Squeaky's on the windowsill, king of the throne. Charlie's got a feather toy, she's in her zone. Doobie's in the kitchen, knocking stuff down. 3 cats ruling this crazy little town.
Good morning, everyone. I'm wearing my moo-moo. $16 for that. What I need to do is spend $16 and buy it's not called a recipe, a pattern. I have all the moo-moos I want in whatever pattern I want. It's the same way with cooking. I saw a little tiny, and I don't know what the exact content was, but I saw this little tiny blurb on YouTube about why don't my food stamps last a month. And it's because most people are not taught how to cook anymore. They're taught how to grab things out of the freezer and off the shelf and open cans and boxes. Because, not that we really need to know, I get $88 a month allotted to me to buy food. So Aunt T buys stuff you have to cook. And Aunt T also really looks at what's on sale. And when I get the stuff that I have to cook, then I look at things like, can I afford a bag of potato chips? Can I afford a candy bar? And the answer is usually yes. And yeah, you want to know what? 2-3 days before my food money comes in, yeah, I still have beans and rice. I probably have very little left, but I still have food. So I think the issue is why can't I afford everything I want? I made, and to tilt the camera, I made nachos for breakfast. Rice, both kinds of sausages, and underneath there is about 5 of those scoop 'em up cup corn chips. So I made nachos. Oh, and cheese. But you want to know what? There's like a very little handful of cheese on there. That is delicious. Now, I put half a roll of pork sausage and half a roll of turkey sausage. It's really good, actually. Flavor is delicious. I don't personally like the turkey sausage's texture. That's why I mixed them. I can't tell which one is which right now. The turkey sausage leaks a lot of water. And of course, pork sausage is going to give the grease. That's why I thought, add a little more water and add some rice. Stretch your meal out. And now I got a big giant pan of this mixture left. And I still got 2 rolls of turkey and a roll and a half of the sausage, or of the pork. So why don't your food stamps last? It's because you expect steak dinners every night. You expect pizzas every night. You expect. I'm not going to, everybody has their own thing, but honestly, if you're on a budget like that, learn how to shop. Learn how to cook. Now, I can take that same mixture, about a cup of it. I tell you, I got a lot of it left. As a matter of fact, yeah, that's my lid right now. I got that much left. That's a lot of food. That, if I ate that just straight, would last me probably a week. Maybe 3-4 days. It's close to a week. So, and that's nachos. Come on. Oh. I added the onion and pepper blend too. And spices. You go to buy nachos, even at a gas station. It's $5 for like 5 little chips. Maybe you might see a trace of meat. And you get all that weird plastic cheese. So, and then again, all of what I have in that pan can go in so many different recipes. So, why don't your food stamps last? Get a cookbook. Learn how to cook. I was just passing my bag of potatoes. If I want potato chips, I take 1 potato, slice it up thin, and put it in the air fryer. That satisfies me for potato chips. You don't have to eat a bag of them for a meal. And that bag of potatoes, $4. A bag of potato chips, which has probably about 2 potatoes in it, $4. It is expensive to eat healthy? No, it's not. And I'm not meaning you as in any of you individuals. I just mean you as a person in general. It is expensive to eat healthy? It is not. It's the choices you're making. Again, 2 of those potatoes, which have a lot more vitamins and minerals in it than a bag of potato chips, because that's so processed it's not even funny. There's nothing left in it. Salt and starch. That's all that's left in that. And the salt's added. So I don't understand how that's more expensive. Another thing, if you're going to eat healthy, are nachos healthy? Not really. But if you're going to eat healthy, quality over quantity. Eat the stuff that tastes good, that's going to fill you up, like the beans and the rice. Add a little bit of protein punch as much as you can. You see me adding many different sources of protein to my food, and then I sit there and I eat a cup of food and I'm full. Now again, I did have the surgery, so I'm full, and 45 minutes later, I'll go have the rest. I'll eat half of that. 45 minutes later, I'll eat the other half. So my stomach is like, I'm full right now. And then later on, 45 minutes to an hour later, it's like, I could probably finish that. But, come on, people. I don't understand. I don't understand that. Learn to use your resources. There are resources out there. My dad, I was leaving my niece's apartment, and there's a box down there, full of canned goods, rice. There's rice, and I noticed the rice was like packed in January and February. So he might be right. He says, take that food. He says, it's been sitting there a long time. I said, Dad, this is an apartment complex, and I'll bet you that's a small food pantry for the people that live here. Oh, it's been sitting there forever. I'm like, yeah, for hungry people. But I did take some just so he'd get off my case. I took 2 cans of spaghetti sauce and 2 little bags of rice. That's it. Just to get him off my back. I didn't want to. But he's like, that's free for everybody. I'm like, that's a food pantry for the building. I'll bet you every one of them have a box. And you know what? I think that's a decent idea. What you got in your cupboard and you don't want, you put in that box and somebody else will take it. That's community. That's people taking care of each other. And if he's right and somebody just cleaned out their cupboard and wanted to get rid of it, and nobody's taking it, man, there was spaghetti sauce. There was even macaroni noodles. There was spaghetti sauce, macaroni noodles, rice, soups, peas. I tell you a meal right now I could make out of that. You take those peas, the rice, and the spaghetti sauce, you got flavor from the spaghetti sauce. You got protein and nutrition and green nutrition from the peas. And you got your starch, and rice is a different starch than other starches, but you got your starch right there. You got a full meal. And not only that, with that rice, you got a full meal for probably 3 people. A full meal for probably 3 people. Because that in my pan was 1 package of that rice that was sitting there. I'll show you the size of the package. They might have it printed on there because the food did come from the food bank. But 1 pound of rice, long grain. Well, you can't see because my finger, but so that 1 pound right there, what's in that pan, and you probably aren't going to get leftovers. A lot of people put their nose up at leftovers too. And you might not even get seconds, but at least your tummy's full. But again, I could take a cup of that and make several meals. I could divide it into cups, and make several meals out of that 1 pan of food right there. Yeah, granted, I did put sausage in there, but I also bought the sausage because I could afford it. Again, that turkey sausage was $2 a roll. I'll go over to Walmart.com and show you. No big deal. When you see them, you will see the price is like $5 or $6. Look at the quantity that I bought. Underneath it happens to be the peppers. Again, look at the quantity I bought. They're not much more expensive than the peppers and onion. Than the onion bags. Now the onion bags, I'm going to show you this right now. I tell you, for me, it's probably just a luxury because I will not cut onions. They hurt. It's like tear gas. And I have tried everything, and I know I'm repeating myself. So I buy. Hi, Doobie-Doo. What are you doing? You gonna ride a bike? Oh, go take a bike ride? Hey, baby. Hey, beep, beep. The mama love you. Yeah, we're not gonna have you for dinner. You will come over and get some. Did I put those in the freezer? $10 ounces. But it's probably a good 2 onions in there. And this one's a pound, but it's also got onions in it. And I find, for my cooking anyway, that peppers and onions almost always go together. Whatever I cook, peppers and onions almost always go together. I better turn that off and unplug it. Forgot it was on. Good thing it's in a nonstick pan. So, I buy a few bags of just the onions because sometimes I just want onions. Sometimes I'll make onion slivers. I'll take some batter them up, put them in the microwave. Instead of onion rings, you get onion chunks. It's not as appealing looking, but what is that a can of? Oh, it's not. It's smooth move. You don't want that. It's not as appealing looking as an onion ring. Tastes the same. And now I did buy, this was probably about $10, but for the processed ice cream you get in the store, apples to apples, really. Except for this is less expensive. Mango chunks. Now, any of these things you're allergic to, I can understand. Yes, food is expensive because you've got to search around for the stuff that your system will handle. But really, you take a bag of carrots. You know what? Where did that go? I don't. Here it is. There. Ah! It's dark now. Sorry. You take a bag of carrots, and you can fry them and make carrot chips. Bag of carrots, even baby carrots. $2. So I threw in basically, the whole shebang. And yeah, I got it yesterday because I was waiting for some food. um, and then I broke it down to the healthy options. Again, that mango is my ice cream, and I only take a little bowl of it at a time. The spaghetti sauce, maybe two or four tablespoons in that whole mixture. 2 or 4 tablespoons. There was about a cup of the peppers and onions in there, pound of rice, half pound turkey. However, I think those are pounds. I'd have to check. Half pound pork. And I, you've seen me cooking with the spices. I just dump them in. I'm like, it's more the better for me. So I don't know how to break that down in numbers, but it's a heck of a lot cheaper than a Big Mac, including what's in the pan still. That whole thing is a heck of a lot cheaper than buying a frozen pizza. A frozen pizza that's going to last you one night, maybe. It's actually cheaper than a bag of chips. Now, the popcorn I get for my chips because a bag of popcorn, and if you have a corn intolerance, I apologize. You're probably going to end up eating potato chips. Here I am getting lazy. A bag of popcorn. I still have some from last month. The one that I just bought yesterday isn't even open. I got enough to make a pan of popcorn. A bag of popcorn is cheaper than a bag of potato chips. Like Lay's potato chips, $5 a bag. That bag of popcorn, which lasts me a month, you saw the price, like $2, a little over $2, which is ridiculous for popcorn, but I guess everything's going up. And what you saw on there was typically what I buy a month. The popsicles, I love those. I eat them instead. If I really, really want junk ice cream, I could mix those with the mango. Never thought of that. I have to experiment in my kitchen again. Sometimes on very hot days, I just want a popsicle. Now those are about, I think, well, you saw the price. Again, you saw the price of all of those. When they're gone, they're gone. So I don't understand where people can't, and you saw the end total, and yeah, you saw the end numbers of my EBT card. Big deal. You can't figure out the rest of them, and if you could, you're really hard off if you got to hack somebody's EBT card. But that's typically okay. I bought less beans this month because I have a bag of lentils, 2 bags of chickpeas, and 2 bags of large limas, and a bag of mixed beans left from last month. So I bought some more split peas because I wanted more split peas. But I'll mix the beans too. I'll take the limas. I love lima beans. Those the smaller ones have a weird texture. I don't like the smaller ones as much. Those big flat ones, they have it's like biting into a piece of butter, only you don't get that grease effect. So that's one of my favorite beans. But I'll take those. I'll put lentils with it, which makes it like, if you put enough water in it, it's like a creamy sauce. And then I'll put chickpeas in it for a different texture. Moody was saying the other day, you are always talking about a pot of beans. Yeah, I am. Because when times are tough, those are right there. And if you don't like beans, that's why food's expensive. I mean, you really don't have to eat them right now at this point in time. I'm just suggesting that if you got to the point where you did have to eat them, it's not a bad alternative to other foods. Matter of fact, I think when that stuff cools down, I'm going to take most of it and put it in a yogurt container and put it in the freezer. Probably should cook the rest of it up and just put it all in the freezer like that. That way I just have it on hand. Matter of fact, I think I might be doing that today. I might just be breaking things down and cooking them and putting them in the freezer for convenience for later. Because honestly, if you want convenience, you have to work for it. Or you pay for it. One thing I did find with a bag of onions, but they come out mushy. I mean, I guess these ones do too. If you actually just throw the onions in the freezer, they lose their potency. But they're they're mushy and weird when you bring them out, when you thaw them out. Which, if you're cooking with them, great. If you're eating them like an apple, I suggest you keep them fresh. But some people do that. I like onions. I like fresh onions. I do. I like to eat them. I don't like to cut them. Now, for the price of that cut cheese I got, I could have gotten a block of cheese, which probably would have been more. Again, some of the things I buy is for convenience. But I put in my cart the vegetables, the beans, the essentials first, and then I see what I have left over, and I think, like the Duke's mayonnaise. Pam, you got me hooked on that stuff. I made sure I had enough money after I put the good stuff in my cart to get it. If I hadn't had the money for it, it wouldn't be in my fridge right now. I found something on me. Oh, I know what it is. A popcorn skin. So, yeah, that's what I might be doing today. Because it's only supposed to be 80 today instead of 86 like yesterday. Oh, cooking it up and preserving my foods. I did have to plug in the big freezer, which I don't like to do that because when I got it, I had it plugged in because I wanted it to freeze and whatever. And I did a study on to see how much it would cost to run it. Well, I was gone for a week with it on. I was hanging out with Pam. And I came back and unplugged it because I'm like, I got one thing in there. I unplugged it. And then my bill for electricity was $160. Usually it's $120. So that thing cost me for a week $40 to run. I don't like that. But so I guess in that sense you might not even really be saving any money because you got to pay to preserve it. So if you don't want or can't freeze things, buy things in cans. If you're worried about extra salt, there are no salt versions. They may be a little extra, but there are no salt versions. As a matter of fact, a lot of the times you go to the food banks, and you'll get corn and carrots and peas and things like that. And you look on the label, it says no salt added. So you can get free no salt added food if you go to the food banks. Where I run into going to food banks and not enjoying it, they load you up with bread and they load you up with cupcakes and pasta and yeah, sure, they'll give you a meat and they'll give you a cheese and maybe a milk, but you're ended up with a lot of starchies, and I don't eat that stuff and it would go to waste, so I let other people go get it. I suppose I could gather what I don't want and take it to my parents. They could have it, or my niece could have it, or whatever. That would be taking care of my community. As in my people, my family. However, that's today. 5 to 6 p.m. It's only 3 miles away. I should probably go. I know where my driver's license is. I should probably go to it. Why not? That's saying no to free food, and I can get to it. I don't like the person that runs it, but that's saying I don't like my president, so please don't give me any money. It's like, okay. Yes. I'd have to get a hold of my reusable bags, because you have to take your own bags with you. I might be able to find some boxes I could take. Because in order to do that, I have to hook up the trailer to the back of the bike. It's my trunk. And junk in my trunk. But yeah, I could go do that today. The only issue I come up with that kind of stuff, even getting anywhere, is in the wintertime. That bike is not going to take me anywhere in the wintertime. Not with the amount of snow that we usually get. That's a lie. I could get a snowsuit. And the roads are usually clear enough to use even the side of the road. I can't get back on the bike trail, especially since there's snowmobilers that use that. But as a matter of fact, I'm legally allowed to ride my bicycle in the street, on the lane, on the road, because I am a vehicle. And you have to watch out for me. So I could get to the food bank then too, if it's a clear enough day to get out there. But then again, I would have to be taking that thing in and out in the ice, through my yard to get out to it. That would be a challenge. But it is possible. See, I catch myself making excuses, and then I catch myself going, why not? Why can't you? I've always said I did it because I didn't ask them if I could. I just did it. I heard a big truck out there. Maybe that's an airplane going over. No, it's a big truck going past. Sometimes I get on here and I get to talking like this, and I'm figuring out my own life, like getting to the food bank. Again, I did just get groceries, but today is the food bank. The problem with the food bank, not the problem, but a problem with that food bank is you go every other week. You can't go every week. Why? Probably so they can keep their supplies up and they can feed the entire community that comes. That's the only thing I can think of. So, I don't know what time it is. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I got time to prepare to go do that. And it's just down there in Pellston, where I'm always saying I'm going. 4-minute car ride, 20-minute bike ride, 20 minutes on a bike. Really? No brainer, Tressa. Get your butt out there and get your food. But I guess my whole point was about talking about all of that stuff is buy ingredients. Don't buy if you think that things are too expensive. I mean, you can feel free to do what you want to, but the stuff that's out there that is in the things that you're buying that's frozen is out there, and you can prepare yourself for much cheaper. I know a lot of good mommies that are teaching their kids how to do this kind of stuff. Pam, Mina, my niece gets his butt up there by that stove and shows him how to cook stuff. He cooks cookies with her all the time. He likes doing that. My parents taught me that. You want to know something? They learned that from their parents. Their parents were in the Depression. You go, there's a good place to go. Go on YouTube and look up Depression era foods. Some people, they said some people put sawdust in their food just to make it expand. Now, the idea of going up and biting a tree is kind of weird. And then you think, sawdust? Weird. But essentially, what are trees? Trees are big, giant plants. So, I mean, it's not something that I think I would do at the moment because I don't need to. But I think that it's not a bad idea. But then again, you get in trouble. People are like, ew, you eat paper, you eat this, you eat that, whatever. Okay. Those are processed items that were made from the wood. Again, wood is a big giant plant. I would prefer to eat the leaves off of it because it just seems more appealing. But then again, here you saw I bought spaghetti cheese. They put a thing called, and I don't even know what it is, and I'll probably have to Google it. They put a thing called cellulose in there to keep it separate. They do that in, matter of fact, they do that with that cheese that's in there that's sliced, that's shredded. Cellulose. And you're eating that. So what's the difference between cellulose and sawdust? And I'm going to Google that. what I'm gathering from that, it's sawdust. And where it says it's undigestible, so is corn. Corn is literally, it tastes good, but it's literally there to kind of help things move along. Just to say it politely. So, so what I was saying is they added sawdust to their food. So we add sawdust to our food. It's just called cellulose. It's more of a polite term. I don't do it because I don't. Well, okay. Again, those two cheeses. I'm eating the stuff. So are you. Let's see. What else can I rant about? There was other things I saw on YouTube that ticked me off, but I really don't know if I'm allowed if I can say it, because people are going to take pieces of my video and say, "Oh, she's hating on stuff." And I'm not absolutely not hating on stuff, as in a certain group of people. Absolutely not. If you knew my group of people, you would know they are a diverse group of people. I consider human beings. And it's what's in here, not what's in here. So if you act like a piece of junk, I'm going to call you a piece of junk. But if you're a good person, I'm not going to call you a dang thing. I'm just going to appreciate you. Like I said, in here, not here. Not here. Also, what's here too? As in, if you're acting like that to not look smart, I don't know. That's just a head game that I prefer not to play. And I will call you out on that. I'll be like, why are you acting like an idiot? You're not stupid. You're not dumb. Why are you acting like that? You get more. You get more if you act stupid. Other people will do more for you if you act stupid. It's a manipulation. That's why I said I don't play games like that. And I don't allow other people around me to do it. But I can't just get into what I think about this person and that person and these people and that people, because I'll probably be thrown in jail. I'll probably be burned at the stake. All sorts of stuff. Steak. I don't like steak. Speaking of, I don't like it. I don't like it because I don't know why. And people are like, oh, it's nice and tender. Because they eat it raw. And in order to get a steak to be tender, you have to beat the heck out of it with a mallet that's got teeth on it. You have to pre-chew the stuff. That's why I prefer hamburger. It's already pre-chewed. And it might be the same cut. I don't know. No, I know that a steak comes out of a roast. Because Dad will buy this big roast for Christmas, Thanksgiving. None of us like turkeys. Dad used terminology one time that made me grossed out, as in picking it off of stuff. The term that he used just worded me from it for the rest of my life. So he buys a big roast, and then he cuts it, and he says, look, I made steaks. He says all it is a big, huge steak. So let's see. Well, as that shows you, no, it's not cut from the same place. Ground chuck, which could be mistaken as hamburger, is chuck roast. And if you noticed, they had listed several different types of roasts, which have, the same names as some of those steaks. So that's right. Are you guys hungry yet? You want to have something to eat? I know my cats are going to be begging for food soon. Squeaky. Brat. Charlie's acting really weird. The only one I could find right now is him. No, I got tired of it all. I finally put my clothes in there. I put the other stuff away. It was all just arts and crafts and all that kind of stuff. And I just kind of shoved them in that drawer because I had nowhere else that I thought. Stupid, you're putting that kind of stuff in your cupboard. Put it in your cupboard and put your clothes away. There's Dooba Dooba Doo. Hi, Buffo. Hi. Yeah, I know, Mama love you. Charlie, I think, is in the great beyond. I had to call her from out of there earlier to have something to eat. She is eating, so she's not. She just got weird stuff going on. She might have allergies. She might be allergic. You know what? That seemed to have happened when I started putting the flea medicine on them. She might have allergies to it. Another thing I got tired of was that freaking dangerous tower. I took half of it down. And then I put a board, here, 5-point. Then I put a board over top of it because the cats will lay in there. And I don't want them laying in the stuff that's on there. This basket here and that box there have projects and stuff in it. The basket Squeaky's laying on that has my pajamas in it. Those are things that would not fit in those drawers. Now I have a poncho on top of that. That's what he's laying on, is a poncho. I knew they'd go and lay in it. I don't want them all over my clothing. So I covered it up with a poncho. But I don't care. You see my grundies. Underwear, shirts down there, pants down there. Things that I deemed hanging up. These were drying. So I put my clothes away. I'm always talking about anti-wasting stuff. Well, what I was doing was wasting clothing. I'm making me a cup of coffee because it's going to be too hot to have coffee later. There's my halo. But that's another thing I forgot to include on the list of coffee or of food, because I did not buy more this month because I forgot because I don't drink as much of it during the hot days. So in the summertime I can calm down a little bit. So I can get those extras, like paying extra for Duke's mayonnaise rather than Walmart mayonnaise, and I would, honestly, I like the Dukes. I love the Dukes. It's a luxury. And if I needed mayonnaise, which I sometimes do, because I will substitute, because mayonnaise is, I don't have any clue why. Let me see if I can do this. Yeah, you could see me a little bit still. I don't have any clue why But mayonnaise is eggs, whipped eggs and oil. Whipped raw eggs and oil. That's why you have to keep it refrigerated. So a jar of mayonnaise is cheaper than buying a thing of eggs and oil. So if I run out of oil, or if I need eggs, generally if you need eggs in something you need oil, I'll put a dollop of mayonnaise in it. And my beans, I make bean salad. Like you make potato salad, I'll make bean salad. I'll mix it up just like that. Put the same ingredients in. My coffee pot. So yeah, I forgot to buy coffee this time, just because, like I said, I just don't drink it that much in the summertime. I'll drink tea. That's what I'll drink, tea. Oh, my battery's at 15%. Where is my handy dandy Honda Donda charger? I hope it's charged. Now I have lost my big I will bet you. Oh, it's on 3 bars on that. I will bet you both my other charger power banks are under my bed because having to lift the mattress up to find Squeaky and not caring that anything got lost, because he was the most important thing at the time. Got a canker sore. It's on the inside of the lip, so I'm pretty sure it's a canker sore. But I'm hitting it with the lysine again because it feels like a cold sore, but it's on the inside of the lip, and it started doing the same thing as a canker does. Just, do peeling and stuff. I know, that's gross too, sorry. But it looks like I had Botox. Botox. Whoa! No, we don't need it that bright. Looks like I had Botox done. But I can't see with this. Ah! I couldn't see with the pattern in reflecting off of there, but it's on the inside, it's not on the outside. And it hurts. Does it hurt? So I guess I'm going to have to go and find all my reusable bags and stuff. My locks, my chains, because I don't want somebody stealing my vehicle while I'm in there. I could lock it up where the people could see it. The workers could see it. On the inside of the area. But I got locks and chains and all sorts of stuff. They're not going to be able to steal it unless they rip it off of the building or they clip it. And if they clip it, people are going to see them doing it. So I got to find all my stuff so I can go to the food bank. I think that's what I'm going to do today. Later on, I don't care the heat. I know I complain about it. Maybe I'll take you a little video of me taking a bike ride. Of at least the interesting parts. But I'm going to get on off of here and quit giving you a lecture on how to feed yourselves. Oh, you have a good day. I'll see you later.